Yeah, how we set that up? I'm not entirely certain how that works. And again, I need to sort of poke around with the settings in this before I can truly get it right. That said, if you can be my Adabisi, this would make it an awful lot easier for me to do stuff. How do I change what you are? Let's have a look. If there was a way of doing it, I would, but there doesn't seem to be a way of following... there doesn't seem to be a way of following observers. Oh, we have got a proxy pylon going down for Nano again. Apparently the fact that it didn't work last time is not dissuading him from trying it again. We've got extended thermal lance coming out of skeletons. Aha. Apparently it's not, unfortunately Huxley, it doesn't seem to be like a replay, so unfortunately I don't think we can do that. I take it you're Neocorpse in my chat. Let's see. Okay, we've got a bit of a push coming out from Nano. He's got a sizable force moving out. The question is it going to be enough to break this line here? I don't think it is. His opponent's moving down, and he might be able to get a good flank on him. But no, the Colossus is 2 Colossi now in the mix. Not a chance in hell. It's going to be a bit of a rush to push back. The Colossi brushing those force fields aside as if they weren't even there. We've got some more Stalkers coming in from Skeletons. Unfortunately, they're not going to make much of a difference as Nano is pulling right the way back to his base. Oh, Huxley not having a Twitch account. You should totally get them. It's really useful to know when your favourite pros are streaming. However, at this point, Skeleton's pushing up into his opponent's base. He doesn't have enough sentries to wall himself in completely. Bit of a nasty fight going on in there. We can zoom in and see the Skeletons is pushing right the way into Nano's base. He's warping in more Stalkers, but it doesn't seem to be making much of a difference. They're not up in time. The Immortal is going down. He needs to keep that alive if he's going to take out this Colossi. A Colossus coming in from Nano, but is it too late? Almost certainly, given the fact that that Colossus is not going to do much to the Mortals. GG from Nano. Well played. Let's see what happens in the next round. At this point, it's a GG. He hasn't surrendered. There we go. GG for Skeletons, GG from Nano, but unfortunately his win streak is over. Let's see. So, what have we got now? We've got Skeletons as our reigning champ versus either Huxley or, I guess it's against Huxley. This could be a bit tricky. King of the Hill versus the least played. Huxley, you look like you're up. Nano saying he hates this map. I can understand why. It's fun. In the Dwarf Fortress sense. Let's have a look at what happens when a silver level Terran takes on a platinum level Protoss. By the way, if you're enjoying the casting, do let me know and let all your friends know. That way we can get more people watching the chat and maybe I can get a bit more practice, learn how the combos work. Right, and at this point I can sort of make myself actually much more interesting to listen to because I'll know what I'm talking about. So, in the bottom right, we have ourselves a Terran player Huxley. At the moment, he is very much the struggle bear, the underdog, the guy who we're rooting for because honestly it would be really cool if he won. Up against the powerhouse that is Skeletons in the top left. At this point, Skeletons looking very much the favourite. The betting currently, nobody's actually, well, we need to wait till the first round of betting finishes. But at this point, I'm betting that all the betting's going to be on the side of Skeletons because, frankly, it looks like he's in the lead. We've got ourselves, according to the Blizzard UI, Nano's left us. Oh, that's a bit unfair. Let me see if I can get in touch with him. See if there's a reason why he's left. Oh no, Nano seems to have disappeared entirely. Oh well, we'll worry ourselves about that later. At the moment we have the basic startup of the game. Workers going down for everyone. Iraq's going down on 12 for the Terran. Again, very much a standard opener. He's trying to wall himself in. And his opponent's trying to take on that worker. Will he be able to kill it? Will Huxley be able to bring something out? He doesn't seem to need to. Oh, here comes out a support worker to try and... a couple of support workers to try and chase that probe away. Get out of my base, they say. Unfortunately for them, the worker's going further in. Much to the vexation of anyone involved. We're up to 14 supply for the Terran. The Protoss is building himself a gateway and a gas. The Terran, however, not going for gas yet. Presumably he's going to go for, I'm going to guess, a 1 Rax expand, because if he was going for anything else he would need gas, or he'd need to build another Rax at this point. He's blocked his opponent out and is not bothering to finish building that supply depot because he doesn't really need it. And he's going to lose that fight, that we can say for certain. That worker dies screaming. The probe may be low, but the probe has shields. The orbital coming down for the Terran player. In the base of the Protoss we see a little scouting worker. He went through the zone of death in the middle of all the workers and didn't get killed and has seen the cyber core going down, so we know, but then again this is a Protoss game, that's what happens. The Terran has walled himself in and has a single worker standing on guard, trying to stop any more incursions, trying to stop any sneaky little probies coming in. As we're going to see, one's going to try and get past. The supply depot wall is down. Will the 2 Marines be enough to stop it? Yes, they will. Cybernetics core is nearly finished for our Protoss player. He's building a pylon to make sure he doesn't get supply blocked, because at this point in the game you really don't want to supply block yourself, especially when you're doing what I suspect he's doing, which is going for a bit of Stalker Zealot pressure. His opponent is expanded round about the sort of time you'd expect a person. He's gone for, presumably this means he's gone for a 1 Rex expand, slightly delayed, presumably because of the probe pressure. Not exactly, far too late behind the times, but he is going for a fairly standard build. At this point I would either expect to see another 2 Racks or possibly a factory, but he hasn't got any gas, so presumably he's going a Racks build. At this point I would expect to see a couple of Racks coming down. If he's going for another 2 Racks, then they are a little late. Warp gate's on its way. There go the 2 Racks. He seems to be going for a fairly delayed version of the Filter Starcraft build, given that he's now 20 seconds off the pace. These 2 workers building up the things. Refineries going down precisely when they need to for the standard filter build, and are these 5 Marines going to be enough to chase this Stalker away? I suspect so. Is the Stalker going to take any actual damage? No, it's not. Well microed there by Skeletons. He was, however, completely perturbed by the fact that there were a lot of Marines at the top. This does, however, give him valuable scouting information, because I think he's now seen that his opponent has a natural down. Yep, he's seen his opponent's natural. He knows it's nearly done. He knows his opponent's got a bunch of Marines, but that's enough Marines that you could just have built them out of a single Rax. His opponent's gone for double gas, and is presumably at some point going to start building either a factory. I'm going to guess actually he's going for the build a bunch of barracks, build some add-ons for them. We're going to see a tech lab or a reactor going down at some point. Either that or a factory. He's got enough gas to do both. The question is, why is he not spending it? Is this a bit of a mistake by our... Oh, there we go. The tech lab's going down for there. So I'm expecting to see Stim or a factory. I'm expecting Stim as soon as this tech lab is finished. Got the 2 reactors down. He should have enough gas. Meanwhile, our Protoss buddy Skeletons is taking his second base, starting to mine off that. Got the robo facility, making himself some warp gates, because why wouldn't you? They are so useful. The Protoss player now currently technically up in supply, but in terms of units he's got about the same in terms of mineral income. 27 workers plus 4 workers for a mule means that technically speaking they're about even pegging, but at this point a Terran is technically behind in workers. In terms of gas income, we've got, doesn't actually say a damn thing at all, never mind. Let's go back to the production tab then. We've got a Robo Bay nearly finished, Concussive Shell nearly finished for our Terran player. Again, this is a very passive game. There's not a lot of pressure going on. Primarily, I suspect... Oh, and a bunch more gateways going down for our Protoss player. I suspect the reason at this point the Protoss hasn't pushed in is because he's seen the Terran's gone for a defensive play. He's gone for a 1 Rex expand into... I'm going to think... Our Terran player trying to unsupply block himself as fast as he can, but he's building so much stuff. He's gone for the factory. He's building a starport and a reactor, which at this point I'm expecting a swap any second as soon as they're built. We're getting a Robo Bay out of our Protoss player, which he is building in his main. A forge for some nice, delicious upgrades, but still only 3 gas. And another assimilator going down with Stim on its way. The question is he going to push out if he's following the filter build to the letter, then he's going to push out basically as soon as the first 2 medevacs are done. And he is in fact building 2 medevacs. Ooh, bit of a slip there. He doesn't need 3, if he either needs 2 or 4. Our Protoss buddy pushing up with an observer. He is going to see pretty much everything. He's seen the reacted starport. He's seen all of the barracks and what they're building. The Marines can't see it, so they can't shoot it down. He's gone for seen the double eBay that's going down in the Terran base. +1 weapons coming down for our Protoss player. What has Huxley seen? Huxley's actually seen pretty much everything his opponent has as well. If we actually look, he's not got that much more in terms of buildings, but he has got a bunch of troops down here. He knows his opponent isn't pushing out because he's got this watchtower, and the opponent, and generally speaking, when Terrans push out, they push straight up the middle, because why wouldn't you? We've got a turret going down. Where? Oh, we've got a turret going down for our Terran player. Where's he putting the turret? He's putting the turret down, in the middle of his base to render himself relatively immune to observers. Problem is, we don't seem to have any observers. At least not around here. The Terran is now pushing out, and the observer sees at least some of it. It doesn't matter, the Stalker sees the rest. He loses a Stalker, but he gains valuable information. At this point, Extended Thermal Lance is not going to be done, +1 weapons is not going to be done. The Colossus is possibly going to be finished, but possibly not by the time his opponent hits his base, so he's going to have to move out. And his opponent sees him moving out. He's going to know where he is. He's going to see that his opponent's moved out to the watchtower. The drop is not a secret. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, we've got Stalkers coming in to try and shoot at the medevacs. If they can get these medevacs down before they drop the units, this is going to be a huge loss for the Terran player. He is, however, kiting them around. Terran player potentially losing so much stuff here, but so far not losing anything at all. He's managed to get a couple of Stalkers underneath him, and the Colossus is coming down, which will neatly deflect anything he tries to do. Oh, at this point it's going to be a dangerous loss for the Terran. He's dropping a natural, but unfortunately for him there's a Colossus, there's Stalkers, there's a massive force pushing back up, and that one Colossus could be doing an awful lot of damage, but it's not actually doing anything at all. So far in terms of units lost, the Terran is winning in terms of actual supply, and he's in terms of units killed. Ooh, he's taken down not that many workers, and has lost his entire drop for relatively little gain. At this point, the Protoss, feeling a bit secure, is going to move out and establish himself a third base. The Terran, however, has got to be wondering whether the Protoss is just going to break down his front door and kill him. In terms of units, he doesn't have the forces to do it, but he does have the fear factor. His opponent now going for +1 armor, +2 weapons for the Protoss, Zealot leg speed, more Colossi. Against the bio build, this is looking unpleasant. He's going for the armory, so presumably he's either making a tech switch into... Actually, no, he's not making a tech switch. He's got 2 eBays, and at this point he can't build anything out of them because there isn't an armory to allow the other extra upgrades. The Terran pushing out towards presumably building a third base of his own. The factory checking out whether there's any proxies in this, what I think is his 4th or his 5th, whichever. I think it's his 4th. He's got the destructible rocks down. We've got a Templar Archives coming out for our Protoss player. The question is he going for High Templar for High Templar, or is he going for High Templar for the purpose of making Archons and going Charge Lord Archon? Currently the betting is, and I'm not placing a bet, let's not have a look at this. At the moment, I gotta say my personal preference at this point is for the Protoss, just because of the size of his death ball. That's a bit of a loss for the Terran, but it is going to make him realize that opponent is pushing out. The question is he going to push all the way down? He's reacting as fast as he can, pushing up for his own watchtower and seeing if he can catch them on the move. The question is, does he even have the forces? He's got Marauders for the Stalkers. He's got some Marines. There's some workers in there as well, surprisingly enough. That's a bit unexpected. Archon's coming down, so it was a Zealot Archon build. Unfortunately, those Archons are going to get murdered really, really quickly. The High Templar are getting sniped before they can do anything at all. Charge Lot's moving in, but they've wasted the charge, getting far ahead of their own army, and now attacking a choke that they can't seem to get into. Force field's pushing up, but unfortunately, it's a bit of a bust on that one. The workers coming out to repair, the workers coming out to repel, but there's nothing to repel because the Protoss has moved backwards. Viking coming out to try and take down some of the Colossi, but they're not needed just yet. +2 weapons nearly finished. Our Protoss buddy starting weapons ground level 3. Let's see. Bit of a planetary fortress going down in that third base. The question is, will it make any difference? Because unless he can actually get some... If his opponent pushes up into his natural, it's not going to make much difference if he loses all of dem buildings and production capacity. Storm coming down for the Protoss player. +3 ground level weapons is going, +2 for the Terran, building some more bio. Oh, it looks like there's an engagement developing here. Stalkers and